Welcome, everybody, to Come Back to Love, our Monday morning gathering, which is just, for me, like getting more and more precious every single week. It's like, yeah, I'm going to Costa Rica to lead a retreat soon, a couple weeks. And I'm thinking, like, I don't want to even miss those Mondays that I'm going to be teaching there. And it's an hour earlier there anyway. So, anyway, it'll probably work because I really don't want to even miss you for 1 week. So I'll let you know what happens with that. But it's so precious for me personally. And I'm just so grateful to be able to be here with you. Thank you for the heart. Yeah, welcome. I see some new people here. Welcome, welcome. All righty. So like I said, for the new people here, we'll be recording for the first 10, 15 minutes, and then we'll shift to a more private space where we can share for another 10 to 15 minutes. And it's always really precious. So I want to invite you to have a breath and gently close your eyes. Join me in a really deep inhale in through your nose, filling your heart space, allowing your belly to expand. And exhale. And no matter when you're listening to this, whether it's live or the recording, I'm finding these days that breathing really deeply is so helpful. It's like, how can we not be taking shallow breaths these days with everything that's happening in the world? It's like our breath is caught, gets caught. And so a nice, deep, deep inhale. Has such an incredible impact on us. Calms down the nervous system, brings us back to ourselves and our bodies. And invites us to connect to our hearts, of course. This morning, when I opened my email before jumping on here with you guys, somebody had written to one of the listservs that I'm on saying, like, welcome to another day closer to peace. And he provided a link of something to listen to, which I didn't even open, or maybe I didn't open it yet, because I just loved that. Just one line, welcome to a day closer to peace. And I love, no matter what's happening, and in this moment, I don't know about you, but I don't wake up and put news on myself. I do it when I'm ready. So like whatever's happening is my point, like in the whole world and the entire world. I love holding that thought, that statement of welcome to one day closer to peace. It's really beautiful. So breathe that in for a moment. Like breathe in, as we are creating our lives and actualizing our dreams, that our thoughts are the most important, one of the most important things. And so what would it take to hold that vision today, to hold that sentence? Thank you, Andrew, who posted it. And let's turn our attention inward around that statement. What if we turned that inside and looked at the ways that we are desiring and maybe often requiring more peace inside ourselves, with ourselves? There's such a draw to the external right now. It's intense, right? If there weren't enough with like TikTok and Facebook and like all these things that are outside of us that are designed basically to pull our attention away from ourselves and away from our center. Now we've got huge, massive things. I mean, always, but right now, especially pulling us off center and out of our internal focus. It's like distraction on steroids. So what would it take to focus ourselves, to focus on ourselves? And that, going back to that statement that Andrew made, welcome to one day closer to peace. How does that resonate when you think about your relationship with yourself? So let's breathe that in, connect with the earth. I don't know where you are, but where I am, it is sunny and the sun is shining on the yellow leaves so beautifully. It's crystal clear, this bright yellow outside my window with the sunlight reflecting on the yellow leaves. It's just gorgeous. So choose something you love about the earth. Choose something you love about the earth and connect with her. Maybe it's bushes or flowers, beautiful outdoor fire circles, mountains. And imagine yourself really deeply connected as you breathe in, breathe that energy from the earth into your physical body, into your energy field. Exhale and let it permeate all the cells of your being, from the tips of your fingers and your toes, the top of your head. And then let's expand outward. Just like I was saying when we first began, like our breath is getting caught. It's like our fields are getting contracted and, do anyway. And now, especially contraction. So breathing in, allow your energy field, and with actually your thought, see your energy fields expand out to the four corners of the room that you're in. Notice your body relax just a little bit more in that expansion. And then keep going out into the town that you're in or the city. Nice. And then keep going across the country and continent. Beautiful. And keep going across the ocean, across the ocean, the seas in all directions, across the water. And keep going to the next continent and the next. Some of you are already there because we do this every week. And sometimes it takes some time and some intention to really allow your infinite self to show up. The thing about our infinite selves is that we don't remember that we are infinite. And what would it take to expand your energy field across the entire globe right now? And then out into the universe. to the sun, to the moon, the stars, the planets. And maybe there's even more universes out there. So keep going, because infinite is infinite. And there's a great question that I like to play with. Could be a daily reminder or multiple times a day that I am an infinite being, that we are infinite beings. And that is, would an infinite being choose this? Whatever this is. And when we go back to the beginning, where I was talking about, the statement that we're one day closer to peace, what would an infinite being choose? What would an infinite being choose? Would an infinite being choose that particular thought? Would an infinite being choose to go down a rabbit hole of social media videos on one particular topic and get really narrow and focused? Would an infinite being choose that particular way of treating your body or yourself? It's just a question. It's not a judgment. You don't want to throw the sort of, I want to say pop culture, but not really. I want to say like the humanness of judgment. We don't want to throw judgment at ourselves with that question. We just want to ask genuinely, like, would an infinite being choose, let's say, to see that we're one day closer to peace today than we were yesterday? Just as an example. And then listen to your awareness. That's the other piece with all these distractions. We're listening. There's the risk of listening to so many other people. But your awareness is truth. Your awareness is consciousness. Your awareness is love. Your awareness is your wisdom, as valid and real as anything else being spoken out there. And that's what we forget. So would an infinite being choose this? And then listen to your awareness. And that's like listening to the whispers. I know that and I know most of you are not in the beginning of your journeys here. But we're always in the beginning of our journey, aren't we? Always new. And that distinction between thinking mind and awareness is sometimes really challenging, because our minds engage right away and want to fill in empty spaces and gaps and tell stories. For me, awareness is like the whispers that are coming from behind. They're like soft and quiet. Sometimes they're loud, but it's a different quality. It's not like my mind trying to put a conclusion on something. That's one way to tell that it's your mind, because our minds like conclusions. And when we draw conclusions, we are limiting. We're not an infinite space when we're drawing conclusions. When we're drawing conclusions, we're like in this narrow like definition. So that's the opposite of our infinite selves. And that might be one way just to recognize, if you're unclear, like, is that a conclusion or is that an awareness? It's a conclusion. You can say, okay, that's a conclusion. That might be my mind. Let me see if I can listen to my awareness and see what comes after that. I know when I first started on my diligently more on my spiritual path, like, I don't know, 15-ish years ago, that was a really big question I had. Like, am I listening to my wisdom and the universe and consciousness, or is it my mind? It's like very difficult distinction to make. And I think that each of you has your own distinction. Mine is the way that I described it. Maybe that resonates for you. Maybe you'll have that similar experience, and maybe you'll have something completely different. I invite you to trust whatever that is, so you can follow your awareness, not get so caught up in distraction and conclusions that are being made all over the place. So nice deep breath in and exhale. And another deep, deep breath. And as you do that, I'll sign off from our public invitation, and we'll come back to the privacy of our Zoom room.